it's also eating through telecommunication services out of the bush now. It's a rather dire situation. What else has been done about it? What more can be done?
Look, it is a dire situation, and of course we're trying to source the best way of dealing with the plague, supporting farmers and communities. I can't underestimate what a terrible situation it is. Expert advice to the government is that colder weather conditions do assist, so hopefully the colder months will assist. I hope it is. The plague isn't transported to other parts of the state, but unfortunately this is what happens when you have the conditions that have led up to this event. The fires and the massive floods which have allowed the reproduction, but I'm advised that the colder weather will slow down the plague. But obviously in the meantime there's a lot of work to do in supporting farmers, farming communities, and also the broader community, especially around hygiene issues, not just the fact that people are losing stock and hay. I know for a fact that we've heard many stories about farmers actually getting rid of their hay in order to protect their stock, because if the stock then eat the hay which is infected or has dead mice or poison mice in it, it's a very difficult situation. So I don't in any way want to underestimate the scale of the problem and the challenge, but also that we can take some bit of comfort in, I'm advised that the colder weather does assist in reducing the incidence of the mice and they go underground.
The government is distributing a type of poison to the mice that has actually been shown to have a higher secondary poison rate that would no doubt impact on our wildlife. There are other alternatives. Why is the government not trying to create those?
Well, I hope that the government, and I understand that the government has considered all those options and is getting good advice from experts. I mean, I'm not an expert in which bait is the most appropriate or which poison is the most appropriate, but certainly the advice I've had is that we're working very closely with people who are experts in this area to do it as safely and as quickly as possible. And I also suspect there'll be different solutions for different places and different challenges that exist. I don't think it's a one-size-fits-all, and I think it's important for us to rely on the expert advice. Certainly I'm not an expert in that area, but we do have expert advisors supporting the government, but also more importantly providing workshops and information to farmers and farming communities. But it's beyond just the farm now. It's become a problem of health and hygiene, and we need to make sure that we're on top of that at all times. But of course the safety of the poison that's being used is paramount, and I'll await further advice as to the secondary issues if they exist.
Now, yesterday it was revealed in a parliamentary inquiry that 4 patients in Western New South Wales died and there was no doctor there. Is that an absolute failing of the New South Wales health system?
Look, I don't know the details of that, but I do know this, that there's no doubt that people living in rural and regional New South Wales have huge challenges in accessing healthcare depending on where they live, no doubt about that. But I also want to take this opportunity to say that out of all the hospital upgrades and all the additional staff that we've put on in the last few years, a large proportion of those have been in our rural and regional communities.